My granddad's a crazy old Irish biker. Linked to the IRA, he was the Sergeant of Arms in the Blues Angels, which was a subsect of the Hells Angels. Crazy old Irish madman. When he met my dad, he swung him around by his dreadlocks. My friends that were around at that time, it pushed me towards a life of crime. That, brother, honestly, anything that you've seen or done, I've done it. Anything that you've heard of in terms of that world, I've been at the pinnacle, I've done it. With that came a lot of kind of prison. I've done 6.5 years of my life in prison.
Wow.
Which is where I learned everything. I had nothing in myself other than the Quran and an imam to talk to through a minute gap in the door. If you know that technology can be used one of two ways, you can either bang it out every morning or you can use it to learn something. Which do you think is going to benefit you? I asked for everything that I ever wanted in this world. Within 6 months, it was given to me.
Wow.
No.
Assalamu alaikum, it's DanTheMan. We're here in Dubai with the Halal Bros. I'm with my co-host FaiyadFit, and we got the one, the only, we got khalidknows. And I think we got a pressing question for Khalid that I think everybody wants to know the answer to. What is it exactly that Khalid knows, bro?
Enough.
It knows enough.
Enough to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, bro. Thank you for having me.
My brother.
Good. The name's funny because it actually started off as a bit of a joke in the studio. So I was dropping a bit of a game like privately between the lads, and one of my guys said, "Oh, Khalid knows," and it just stuck.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of stems from the things that I've learned in life. So everything in life that I've learned has been self-taught. Believe it or not, I've got no qualifications. I can't read or write on paper or do maths. So everything that I've learned in terms of kind of business development, sales psychology, consumer behavior, economics, philosophy, religion, finance, you name it, I taught it myself.
Wow.
Through reading books. So a lot of the kind of stuff that I drop on social media is either relative to my life or how I apply Islam to my life, or the knowledge that I've acquired through reading books, which is why the name kind of...
Okay, so you haven't got GCSEs, bro?
No.
Wow.
You know, when you talked about like Islam, a lot of influencers, right, public figures, they're very hesitant to come out with their Muslim identity.
Yeah.
There's many reasons. Maybe they don't want backlash. Maybe they don't want to lose followers. And it's not really the most cool thing. But you, on the other hand, you're very open about being Muslim, right? Why is that?
It's the least I can do, innit? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved my life. So for me, if you notice, a lot of the content that I create is ghost hosted. Behind the camera is actually Eamon pulling funny faces. Yeah, so a lot of the time it's just, I'll think about something that I want to say that day, and I'm speaking to the man in the mirror, I'm speaking to the younger version of myself that didn't have that advice or guidance, and 400,000 other people. So if I feel that something's going to benefit someone that day, and I've just thought about it, I'll just drop it on a video. Do you understand? Because, and I think that's because there's nothing special about me, brother, or anything that I really do. I think that's the reason why the socials blew, because if you knew the thousands of messages that I receive on a daily, weekly basis from people that were having a hard time, that are now doing better, or that are coming towards Islam, people that hated Islam before, just because of the content. Wow. And not to say that, first of all, I'd just like to say this, I'm not a scholar. I'm not. And don't take any advice from me, really, unless it's applicable to you, right? Unless you feel that it's applicable to you. I don't take any life advice from anybody unless it's a scholar. I don't personally.
Wow.
But if you are going to take, or someone that's of higher net worth than me, if I want to achieve a goal, I want to make sure that they've done it first, right? So if you're going to take anything from me, don't try not to dissect too much. Just take the good from it.
I got you.
Understand?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is that what motivates you, bro? You mentioned that you feel like you're talking to yourself, all right? Are you trying to be the guidance that you wish you had for other young men out there, or is there a wider audience you speak to? When you're speaking into the camera, in your heart, who do you want to hear these messages?
Well, think about it. Does any of that content have anything to do with acquisitions and mergers, business, social media, marketing? It doesn't, does it? Right? So how would it benefit me financially? Really? Yeah, when you actually deep it.
And even like the business stuff, like the sales stuff you drop, like never say the F word in sales. It's still to benefit other people.
Yeah. There's no call to actions in my content. No. We run ads. Do you understand? We used to put CTAs in the content to drive people to wherever we wanted to drive them. But we realized that when we give away goodwill, as in just free value in whatever sense, and you use ads as the CTAs, people convert anyway. So for me, it's my channel. It's nothing to do with the company or the companies. And for me, it's, to help as many people as possible, because I feel that as long as I'm benefiting the ummah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bless me with that audience that I can use maybe later down the line for whatever reason.
Inshallah, brilliant. So, man, I'm very curious how your life was before Islam. So I want to know a little bit about your upbringing, growing up, how things were, what you were about.
When I was born, for my mother to go with a black man, it was frowned upon at that time, right? Where I'm from. And my grandfather hated it. My granddad's a crazy old Irish biker. Yeah. Linked to the IRA. He was the Sergeant of Arms in the Blues Angels, which was a subsect of the Hells Angels that was founded in Scotland, spread across Europe. Crazy old Irish madman. When he met my dad, he swung him around by his dreadlocks.
Whoa.
So, yeah, right. You understand? So when I was born, my mum was kind of not left to her own devices, but we didn't have the support system of like of uncles, aunties, like grandfather, like husband. Do you understand? I came from a broken home because my dad didn't stick around because my granddad was right. So I literally come from a house with no carpets. If the alarm was going off when you came home from school, it meant that the electricity had gone. You had to go and take this little key and top it up at the shop, right? That's how broke it was. And because of that, when it came to kind of later on in life, in fact, let's go back a bit. So around 4 or 5 years old, my mum met my stepdad. That's my 2 little brothers are 2. And we stayed with him for I was there till I was about 11 years old. But he used to treat me differently to his sons. So when my mother was at work, he used to with belts, lock me in the cupboard. It was horrible, right? Horrible. I got him back though. I'll talk about that later, yeah. So yeah, but my mother never saw this. I was so scared of this man. When I tell you, I was petrified of this guy. And this is one of the reasons why I'm the man I am today, right? And he was like the savior to my mom because he took my mom out of the hood for a few years. She had me. She had another kid on the way. Yeah. So there was no escape for her. And it was horrible. He ended up cheating on her. He ended up, Max, my mom again, a bit ditzy back in the day. She signed a document thinking that it was for if anything happens to him, she gets the house or whatever. She signed something which placed her in debt with him and he'd be remortgaging the house and stuff. So now there was in a bunch of debt. They had to sell the house. He left her for another woman. My mom had to relocate back to like where I grew up, which is the manor, which is the block. And that's when kind of life really hit us. As in no carpets, nothing in the fridge, being raised on microwave chips. Can you remember microwave chips?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. McCain chips.
McCain,
Yeah, bro.
McCain.
Come on.
I survived on those and super noodles for about 3 years. I'm not even joking. Like we was broke. Yeah. So because of that, and because of my cousins and my friends that were around at that time, it pushed me towards a life that I lived for many years. It pushed me towards a life of crime. And brother, honestly, anything that you've seen or done, or you think you've seen, I've done it all. Anything that you've heard of in terms of that world, I've been at the pinnacle, I've done it, right? And with that came a lot of kind of prison. So I was in and out of prison for years. I've actually done 6.5 years of my life in prison.
Wow.
Which is where I learned everything, which is where I taught myself everything that I know today.
What age did you go to prison?
I've been everywhere. I've been near enough every prison in the country.
No, what age? What age did you go to
I
prison?
first got locked up, I was 16 years old, which is why I never got my GCSEs. I was locked up before I left school.
Wow, bro, you said this all happened in Sheffield, right?
Sheffield, yeah.
Bro, I had some friends in Sheffield that are black, yeah? And they told me walking down the road, actually half black, half white, but walking down the road, people would call them the P word.
Yeah.
People would just call them like, start cussing their hair, curly hair, this, that, the other. Did you experience racism along with all of this at the same time?
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad. So like, let me just explain. After Windrush, when the Pakistanis and the Indians and the Caribbean, the West Indies came to the UK, they all took different paths. But when they first came, the UK, a lot of the kind of British society didn't want them there because we were new. We were the kind of one of the first waves of immigrants, right? What we noticed is that like the Asian community, when they earned money, when the brothers earned money, they invested it well because they were Muslim. They were smart. They had families, right? Bought houses, yeah? When you're laughing at these taxi drivers, don't laugh at them because they've got a good portfolio, a lot of them, right? But the UK used to look down on them because they had worked jobs that white British people wouldn't. Do you get it? And that's why they came over, because we needed to rebuild the economy after the war, right?
Yeah.
Now, when black guys earned money, like my dad, they just ran off and started creating children and not being there for them, yeah? You get an Asian guy, he'd invest in a property, a black guy'd buy a chain. It made no sense, yeah? So But because of that, because of like the Caribbean kind of culture was seen to be kind of cool, and everyone liked reggae music and this, we integrated a lot quicker. White people accepted black people quicker. And I feel that sometimes a lot of white British people have still got like this stigma towards Muslims that we're dirty, or that, again, like Pakistanis, people think that they're and stuff like that because of how the media portrays them. I'm going to tell you firsthand now, from being in jail, that when I looked out of my window and I was looking at the VPs, which are the nonces, they cannot move in on the normal location with the normal prisoners. When I used to look out of my window to kind of see if I recognized any faces, 85% of them were white males over the age of 40.
Wow.
But as soon as you see a Muslim brother, like a Pakistani kid in the UK, do it, they'll label it Muslim gang. What's Islam got to do with it? It's to create division. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel that because a lot of black people in the UK are not Muslim and the Caribbean culture is kind of cool, I think they integrated well. But because Pakistanis are predominantly Muslim, there will always be a war on like Pakistanis in the UK.
So did this shape and mold your perception of Islam?
Believe it or not, I was very ignorant to Islam before.
Really?
Very ignorant, yeah.
What was your opinion of Islam?
So my family were like Irish Catholic. On the black side, they're all black Christians. My uncle's actually a pastor. So, and for me, I knew that I believed in God, but I wasn't very practicing and I wasn't very religious. How it came about, how I reverted, it's actually a beautiful story. It's pinned to the top of my Instagram. Have you had a look?
Yeah, I did.
You had a look, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm in jail at that time for supplying, allegedly. And I'm down the block. Anyway, so I get put down the block. As I get put down the block, they take away all my books. So I used to like I say, I like to read. When they took my books, the librarians started to come around. The only books that they couldn't take by law were religious books. So I picked up the King James Bible, started to look at the Seerah, picked up the Quran. Then the Imam Cameron, he came down and he used to do his rounds, but he'd only come around once a month. And it was lucky that I was down there at that time when he came.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got into a debate with him through the door because I'm learning now. I'm reading. I'm doing my research. Yeah. So for me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took everything away from me. I was in a cell within a prison. I was buried alive. Yeah.
Wow. And
the only thing he gave me was the Quran. So I picked it up, started having a conversation with the Imam, having a debate. He came back down the next day because he was not going to lose the debate with me, right? Because I was questioning him. I was firing questions left, right, and center. And then they eventually let him in my cell. And then, yeah.
SubhanAllah. That's God Allah, bro. The timing. Divine center timing.
So this was the Imam of the
Of
prison?
the jail.
Wow.
And he was my friend for years. I've lost touch with him now, to be fair. I should reach out. But yeah, so yeah, it's crazy.
There is that stigma, bro, of especially in America, right? Where people go to jail and they accept Islam and it becomes almost like the Muslim gang that protects each other. Does that exist in the UK?
You're talking about the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
And you're talking about in the USA, it's racially divided. So if you're black, you go into prison, you have to chill with the black guys. If you're mixed race, you've not really got a belonging. If you're white, with the whites, Mexican with the Mexicans, yeah? In the UK, it's not like that. Far from it.
What's it like in the UK?
It's not like that at all. You're not really racially divided. Everybody knows everybody, especially me being mixed race with a bunch of white Irish family and friends. Do you understand? And where I'm from, for anyone watching this that knows, I'm not at all trying to be that guy. But people who know me know that I was never, ever, ever in any sort of danger in prison.
Okay.
It was actually the opposite. So for me, the only reason I had to revert to Islam is because it touched my soul. It touched my heart at the time needed.
So this was in prison?
This was in prison, but I was in the segregation unit. I wasn't even around any other prisoners. I had nothing in my cell other than the Quran and an imam to talk to through a minute gap in the door.
Wow.
Do you understand? But there's a big difference between reverting to Islam and embracing Islam. Because after I took my Shahada, I'm close to Allah. I get out, my iman starts to dip. Because I'm placed back in the environment that made that person, right? You understand? So now I'm active again for years and years and years. And it's only the past couple of years that I actually kind of surfaced.
So this was your first stint in prison, and when you were 16 years old, that wasn't
this was the second.
Okay, so let me just get the timeline right. So 16, you go into pen.
Yeah.
How long was that for?
That was for 3 years. So I got about, you do half in the UK.
Okay, so but you come out about 18.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then you go back into prison. How long after that?
21.
And that's how long do you spend then?
again nearly 2 years that time.
No, and that's when you converted to Islam.
Revert to Islam.
Okay. What do you think about like?
I was on 2 charges. I beat the big one, but the second one I was locked up for. I did some guy. He deserved it at the time.
Were you allowed to say that on the pod?
I don't really care.
That's
To
fine.
be honest. It's in my past. It's in my past.
Yeah.
But I the guy unintentionally caught a female artery and nearly died.
Wow.
But this is what I'm saying. It was a past life. I'm no longer that person.
So
And I don't glorify it in any way. But if I'm going to be honest on this pod, I need to be truthful, right? But, and this is the reason why I created the Instagram, because for me, if there's any way that I can deter people away from that mindset, because that's all I knew. It's not that I had the option. That is all I knew growing up. I wasn't given any other knowledge.
Wow.
Do you get what I'm saying to you? I didn't have a man to guide me. Do you get it? I was left to run the streets because my mother was depressed in bed, couldn't get up because of what a man had done to her. You know what I'm saying to you, bro? So with that came the consequence of having to carry knives, be around all that shit. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because other people, bearing in mind we were young kids, carried knives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bro, so what do you think exactly about the prison system? Because some people might hear, all right, you're 16 years old, they blocked you from getting GCSEs and you got straight to pen. You've come out, you've obviously got back into crime, you've gone back in at 21. What's your opinion of the UK prison system? Because some people's opinion might say, all right, you're 16 years old, you're still kind of a kid. As opposed to a prison, there should be some sort of rehabilitation. There's still hope for you at that age. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, I can't remember what you said you did to get in at that age. But what do you think of that prison system and this punishment system we have in the UK? And do you think there's a better way for young people like yourself to be... Actually, what should the UK be doing for people like yourself?
For me, I think that if they made the laws like Dubai, we'd be a lot safer. If you added a deterrent that was 20 to life for carrying a, or for carrying a, no one would carry a.
Absolutely.
If you had zero tolerance, you wouldn't have a crime rate. But also on the flip side, in terms of going to prison, for me, everyone's given a God-given gift, talent, right? And if you don't live your life through that talent, that's when people become kind of depressed or upset. If you're good at football and then for whatever reason you don't make it and then you get an office job, you're always going to think about the what if, and you're always going to, your passion is football. You're going to be bored in that role. Some people can sing. Some people can dance. Some people can code. Some people like me are good at delegating. Some people are good at making a play, solving problems. Some people are good with their hands. Do you understand? For me, they've got kind of like a one-size-fits-all rehabilitation kind of system, yeah? Where they'll get kids and they'll stick them into workhouses, which are basically slave labor. So they'll say, right, you're going to work for £3 a day and you're going to fix televisions, and this company has subcontracted it to the prison. So the prison's making millions a year from your slave labor, and you're happy to do it because you want time out of yourself. However, it's not rehabilitating you. It's just keeping you sane. And if they do have any schemes to kind of teach you anything, it might be plastering or bricklaying or something that might not necessarily be aligned with your God-given talent. You get what I'm saying to you? So people aren't interested. A lot of these people on road, a lot of them are entrepreneurs. I know people that can logistically move a ton halfway across the world, distribute it, and return the money. Right? Are you telling me they're not entrepreneurs? It's just they've just not been given the right direction. They're not guided in the right way. But they're running an international operation. Do you understand?
So they got the skills, but it's not in the
skills.
right
And I feel that when you go to prison, it's just to sedate you. They just want an easy life. That's it. It's just a confinement. It's not a rehabilitative kind of system, which is why, for example, users, they go to prison and to get them off one, they give them another. You can't get people off by giving them another. Do you understand? So you take them off and you put them on meth and sex. So you're just transferring their dependency to another substance that is taxed, that you are making money from as a pharmaceutical organization. Yeah?
Yeah.
Then you're kicking them out of the door with $50 in the pocket with nowhere to go and expecting them not to commit crime again. What do? Go and buy more from people.
Absolutely.
I want to backtrack a bit into when you said there's a difference between converting to Islam and embracing Islam, right? So I want to focus first on the conversion aspect of it. Did you face a lot of cognitive dissonance in the sense that, wow, what if this really is the truth? And did that scare you in the moment?
No, because as in the very, very, very beginning, yes. But as I learnt more, it just became logical. So like, again, my entire kind of thought processes are based on logic. I'm very reflective. I'm a very, very deep thinker. Yeah, very deep reader. So for me to make a decision, it has to be 100% correct, because I've not got time to waste, for one. And two, I've made that many mistakes in my life that right now I'm making up for. Even now, I'm making up for 10 years of bad mistakes. I need to balance those scales. So in terms of kind of, and a lot of people do kind of go through this where they feel that they're turning away from Jesus Christ. But for me, it enforced it.
How so?
It enforced my belief in Isa Islam. So think about it. In Catholicism, they'll say that Isa is the Son of God. But then they'll say, Hail Mary, mother of what?
Jesus.
Mother of what?
Yeah,
God.
Jesus.
So are you the Son of God or you God? Right? Which one is it, right? So first of all. Secondly, there's 2 billion people around the world today that believe in Jesus Christ because of a man named Muhammad. Peace be upon him. Yeah? So they believe in Isa as a prophet.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Right?
Yep.
You understand? I'm not saying as in the Trinity.
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So for me, all it did is enforce my belief in Isa as a prophet and enforce the logic of religion. Because sometimes, especially when you're looking at kind of like in biblical terms, it can be very contradictive. Yeah. And it can be illogical because it's been changed that many times. Do you get what I'm saying? And there's a lot of questions that you can't really answer through Catholicism. You can't. Do you get it? So yeah, it's based on logic, and also the fact that like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved my life. I can name you 3, 4, not miracles, but yeah, du'as that have been answered that should never have been answered right now.
You're allowed to talk about it.
Right now, I can answer them right now.
Let's do it.
Right. So the first time, that time, when I was in for supplying, allegedly, this case was banged to rights. Should have got a very long time. Yeah. The main witness didn't give evidence. I was downstairs. I stood down, mid dua, went back upstairs. The main witness absolutely hated my guts. Didn't give evidence. That case collapsed within 3 minutes after me making that dua. That
Wow.
was the first time. Second time, gets into an argument in protection of a woman, hits a guy, it goes wrong. I should have never have done it. Looking back, I should have never have done it. But I hit a guy. He was under the influence of alcohol. At the time, he was a bit of a bad guy. He's not a bad person. He's a Muslim brother. But at the time, he was acting out of turn, right? Cracked him. He hit his head off the floor. Should have died. Could have died. I made dua for him to survive. He should be brain right now. Yeah, I only hit him once, but he hit his head and it was bad. Very bad. His heart stopped. There was an off-duty paramedic, kept him alive. It was very, very lucky. He had to be airlifted. Very lucky to survive.
Wow.
Made dua, and they was going to switch him off. Mid dua, he survived. So they stood me down in court when I was arrested because I was on remand. And they stood me down and they said, look, we're going to stand you down because they're going to try and wake him up. It's the last time. If they don't wake him up, this is going to be relayed as a charge. Yeah, I went downstairs, made dua, came back upstairs to woke him up. Second time. Third time, talk about Umrah. The first time I went to Umrah, my friend was guiding me. Shout out to Irfan. He was guiding me and he said, look at my feet. Don't look up at the Kaaba, because the first time you look at the Kaaba, the first dua that you make is going to be answered. Yeah? Don't take your eyes off it when you look up. When I tell you to look up, look up. I've never been before, so I'm holding his shoulder, being guided. I looked up. I asked for everything that I ever wanted in this world. Within 6 months, it was given to me.
Wow.
No.
And when I tell you I'm the most undeserving person, I do not deserve the abundance and the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me. I don't deserve it. When I think about it, when you deep it. If you look at my character, look at someone like yours or anyone, there's so many better brothers out there than me. I'm not perfect. Yeah. So I know full well that he walks with me. Straight. No.
And did you experience anything like that as a Christian?
Never. I remember the first time, so 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, first time I stepped back on my prayer mat. All right. This is the first time I actually wore a thobe. Yeah, because before I never wore one. Yeah. No, it was given to me as a gift. Sorry, I'm lying. It was given to me as a gift. And it was a time that I was going through a lot. Yeah. My dad second mom, dad, best friend gets, other best friend gets 27 years. The girl that I'm in for protecting ends up spending a load of dough, ends up splitting up with her. Edward's gone, lost 5 of my main people. Everything's going wrong in my life, right? So something told me start praying again. So I wakes up, gets up for Fajr, steps onto my prayer mat, looks up. I've got in the house back home, I've got roof windows, right? Skyline. So I looks up and goes, "What do you think?" Literally, like,
Yeah.
because I used to. My friends laugh at me for this because I used to speak to Allah like he was one of my friends,
Yeah. Like a conversation.
like a conversation.
Wow.
Yeah, like on a level. It was weird how I used to pray and stuff, and I used to ask things. But yeah, so steps on the prayer mat. I look up, what do you think? And then begin to pray, and then everything just starts to fall back into kind of line.
I mean, that's actually how it should be. We in Islam, we have our own personal relationship with Allah. There's no intermediaries, nothing like that. And a lot of Christians, no hate to them, but they don't know that Jesus was a Muslim. And that's why when you mentioned that, there's a quote, Christianity is the religion about Jesus, while Islam is the religion of Jesus.
I have a similar experience to that actually as well. My dad passed away when I was 2 years old, and my mom wasn't super religious, but she just taught me about dua, and she taught me al-Fatiha and al-Ikhlas, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? And she just said, anything you want, anytime you're scared, just speak to God. And I remember being a kid, and I would just lie down in bed, look at the ceiling, and speak to Allah. And I realized now that those are conversations that I could have been having with my dad. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
I was saying, why this? Why that? Why not
Guidance.
this? Like, can you guide me for this? Can you help me with that? Where's my dad? What happened here? How come the people are like this? How come people are like that? And there wasn't really, no one actually answered. I didn't hear, yes, this is the, you know what I mean? But I felt like I was just fully heard, and I felt like I was just learning more for somehow. And I feel like that has just guided a lot of my childhood, to be totally honest with you. Which I want to ask you now, you mentioned that your dad left at a young age, right? You're obviously a very well-accomplished man now. Do you have any male role models that you look up to? Is there anyone that you kind of adopted as a father figure as you grew up? Or do you not really have your grandfather?
My grandfather, he was around, but he wasn't around. But he taught me how to stick up for myself, how to fight, how to treat people, how to expect to be treated. And my granddad was a hardened gangster. I'm not gonna lie. He taught me how to cut safes open. Like he was hard.
Wow.
Listen, this guy was a 24/7 villain.
Wow.
But towards the end, he calmed down. And he was a man that was living with a broken heart because my grandmother died when my mother was 12, right? So this man had to live on his own, provide, take care of, raise kids on his own, no woman, yeah? And yeah, so he was a great man to kind of listen to and learn from. And so I'd say that if there was anyone that was a role model, it was definitely my grandfather in terms of finances, because he was a stingy guy. You know how to squirrel away his nuts. And and just how to maneuver as a man. Do you get what I'm saying? In the terms of respect and honor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it wasn't perfect, but in the terms of respect and honor, which will get you a long way, a far way, if you know how to kind of handle yourself and the way that you speak, the way that you expect to be spoken to, the way that you set tones of conversations, meetings, business. Yeah, he was the man.
Even in the criminal world, there's still some code that you still have to live by, right? Even in terms of keeping your word, things like that. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, so you don't harm women, don't harm kids. If you do that, you're classed as what we call a nonce or a wrong'un. So you don't hurt women. If there's anything between two men, you don't go to houses. If someone oversteps the line and it goes to our family's house, at that point, where I come from, bosses don't press other bosses because they know that when they do, tough guys don't get tough with the tough guys because they know someone's getting sent to God. I'm sure Pop Smoke said that. He did. I got that line from him. But it's correct because you just don't. Like, people know that if you take the piss, it's going to get taken. With certain people, it's going to get taken to levels that you do not want to go. So it's always best to be the guy of reason. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of a transferable skill that I've been able to apply in the legitimate world. Understanding people's wants, needs, understanding how to fulfill, how to solve the pain, understanding how to maneuver when you've got competition with reasoning, and how to collaborate rather than compete.
Absolutely.
Whilst not getting it taken out of you, because I'll tell you something, in legitimate business, it's just as bad. Upset people, can I swear? Am I all right?
We can bleep it out.
Okay, we can
yeah,
bleep
go
out.
for it. Yeah.
People you with the pen, yeah, not a glass. That's the difference.
Absolutely.
That's the difference. So you have to be very careful of who you choose as a business partner in life. You have to be very careful of who you do business with and what are their true intentions behind why they want a relationship with you.
So I think it was you that said this on Instagram. You said that a fake friend is worse than 1,000 enemies,
100%.
right? How do you? There's a saying like you gotta cut the grass slow to expose the snakes, right? So how do you know who in your circle? What are some giveaways that people should reflect on to see who's actually real and who's fake in their circle?
How they act in tough times, in bad times. Everyone's good in the good times. You know, when I told you the graph's easy, it's the people that are hard. The game is easy. In any game, it's the people that are hard. And it's not about how many times you win together, but when it comes to taking a loss, who stood with you? Who stood with you in the hard times and who prioritizes themselves and their wants and needs over the brothers? That's the difference. I was the type of kid that would stand in the dock. My friend who's doing life, should not be doing life. He should not be doing life right now. It's because he stood in that dock and kept his mouth shut.
Wow.
So do you understand? He should not be there right now. So yeah, who's good in the good times? Who's good in the bad times? That's what I look for. And also when people, when you go out, little things like how did they treat random people? You know what I'm saying? Like how many brothers? I said this the other day on a reel. How many brothers go out and flaunt, and show off, but will not give a bottle of water to a homeless guy in the street? Yeah. How many brothers will see an auntie struggling looking for a purse for some change at the shop and not think to just go, here you go, just because they don't know? How many people will do that? They don't, because a lot of people are so self-centered or care about them. They might care about their family and that's it. That's probably as far as it goes. So when you want to do business with people or you want to be around good people, make sure that they're the type of person that loves you and wants to serve you in the way that He wants Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to serve him, because Allah serves us in the way that we serve others. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're 31 now.
Mhm.
Okay. How old were you when you last left prison?
2020. So what was that? 4 years ago.
4 years ago. So you're about 27.
3 years ago. Back in the 2020.
Around 27 when you left prison.
28.
28. Okay. So in the space of 3 years, you've gone to Umrah and you've completely turned your life around. You live in Dubai now. I'm assuming when you left prison at 28, you didn't really have much going for you at that stage.
I had money, yeah, but I didn't have. Yeah. That time when I went away, I was already kind of pulling away. But I was in for protecting someone that I thought that I loved at the time.
Okay.
That did me dirty, right? So I guess I told you the story. Med was gone. And one day I was sat around the table with my friends and I'm like, what are we doing this for? We don't need no more money. What's the point? Why? What? You've just bought an RS6. You just bought a Lambo. To do what? To drive around a council estate? What is the point? Do you get it? So I decided that I wanted more and I wanted to up and leave. I was already set. Like, my family's set. I've got a farm back home. Everyone's good. Didn't need much. But I knew that I wanted to do bigger and better things. And I knew that I could. It was just I wasn't in the right environment to apply myself in the right way, correctly.
Okay. So at that stage then at 28, you've moved to Dubai when you've come out? Was that like your first move? Like, I'm getting out.
Came to Dubai, yeah.
And what's the journey been like for you from coming to Dubai?
I've only been here 18 months.
You've only been here 18 months?
18 months.
That's it.
18 months, bro.
And what did you have when you had it? You had money.
So I came, I invested, I bought property, I went back, came back again, invested again, went back, came back. Eamon pitched the idea that I should go into business with him. So I said, send me over a proposal, let me have a look. So I had a little look. I thought, all right, okay, I like this model. Yeah, one of my business partners, yeah. So I like this. So I thought, yeah, great way to create a bit of cash flow in Dubai. Why not? Came over. It was so unintentional. It was so unintentional to be on social media, because I've done a lot behind the scenes, but no one ever knew my face.
So you weren't one of those guys that made it on social media.
Oh.
We have to make that clear. You already had it before social media.
Yeah, and we were already working with huge clients and I was staking equity in multiple projects before my face was even known. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was just an added benefit to kind of start. I started creating content because Eamon forced me in front of the camera. I said, listen, someone needs to be the face of this company because we help personal brands, right? Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So can you now start to create content, Eamon? He's like, no, bro. He had limiting beliefs. He's like, no, I'm English. I'm Algerian. I was like, get me in front of the camera.
Okay.
And then from there, it was like, that was the initial intention. But then when we realized that when I create content, people listen to me for other reasons. When I saw that as soon as I created a piece of content about my life or something relative to me, my thoughts, my opinions of the world, my worldviews, and I saw what impact that had on people, we just shifted. Now, Eamon, if you look at Eamon's profile, he's the face of the company. He's the one that creates all the social media content.
Wow.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
What advice? Because you've given some advice now regarding young people in terms of staying away from bad things, right? What advice can you give in terms of starting a business or finding your path in career or kind of setting yourself up financially? Is there any advice you can share? Like right now, there's loads of people I know in the UK right now, 18 to 21, even up to 25, bro. And they don't know what they're doing. They haven't even necessarily got into crime. And they're just like, what career?
So,
what
for me, I've spent over $50,000 on business coaching, as well as reading a lot to understand how to create a business out of thin air and scale it. Yeah. Sales and marketing, that's my thing. For me, what I would suggest to any young person that's thinking about or wants to do better and make money, there's only a few leverages in business: labor, capital, media, a couple others. All right. By that, what I mean is you can leverage someone else's labor, someone else's work, and you can charge for that and make your money. You can leverage media. Media is the biggest leverage in business because it allows you to speak to hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions at one time, which we couldn't do on a one-to-one basis. Yeah. And capital allows you to invest, to make money back, to make more money, right? But before you have capital, you need to figure out how to create the other two leverages. Before you have labor, you need capital. So I would suggest leveraging media. Yeah.
Right.
So understanding media, understanding marketing as a skill in itself. Because once great salespeople make millions, but great marketers make hundreds of millions, if not billions. That's the difference. You get it?
Wow.
Once you learn that skill set, for example, Ben Heath, shout out to Ben Heath. Ben Heath's got an amazing YouTube channel and a community where he teaches people about media buying, how to run ads. Every company in the world needs marketing. It's recession proof. Marketing as an industry is recession proof because everybody needs it, no matter in good times or bad times. Teach yourself about marketing. Teach yourself how the flow of money works, how offers work, how value works, and how you can leverage that to make money from companies. So if you taught yourself media buying a skill, you invested in yourself rather than trying to figure out how to make cash to invest elsewhere. Invest in yourself, learn a skill, leverage it, sell it to the world. Done. One client. Let's say you get one client, that's $2-3 grand a month as a retainer. That's more than a monthly wage. And when you've got and your price point's minimum $6,000 and you've got minimum 40 clients at any given time, in any aspects of marketing, you're making a pretty penny. Trust me. So yeah, learn a skill, leverage it, invest in yourself. And then once you've got enough money, then start looking elsewhere, start delving elsewhere. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't necessarily have to be media. If you're hands-on, again, because it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of system. If you're a hands-on person, if you're someone that is a bricklayer or you're good at plastering, that's not a skill that has no value. People need it, right? But instead of working for someone else as a laborer and living in your mum's bedroom on 50 to 100 quid a day, learn how to acquire clients. Learn how to get your own jobs in effectively, predictably, each month. You'll never be without money again. So marketing.
Bro, very interesting you said that because we've actually, I think in almost all the podcasts we've talked about now that we filmed recently, big theme of learn a skill has come up. A big theme is learn a skill. Start off, learn a skill, whether it's plastering, whether it's coding, wherever it is, get good at that skill, become proficient at that skill. But then you've just added the extra layer on top, which is
lead acquisition.
Get the marketing right. Learn that marketing skill to couple with it. Absolutely,
Most people, when they teach, a lot of these guys, honestly, a lot of these guys that are teaching drop shipping, crypto, all these other business models, right? Let me tell you something now. When you enter into business, if you have a certain budget assigned to that project, times it by 10 because you're going to run out of money. Yeah. You can't learn how to become a drop shipper on 50 quid. Don't care what anybody says. Yeah. So for me, if you invest in yourself in a skill set that you can sell yourself without having to invest in anything else, you can leverage that and make the money and the cash flow needed to look at other projects that are more scalable. You get it?
Absolutely.
You get it?
Absolutely.
But definitely, you need to understand how business works. You need to understand marketing.
And this being said, are you anti-education system?
For me, why would you put yourself in $40,000 worth of debt over 4 years, wasting that time when you could spend that same money on business coaching with a proven business model, and you're going to do $500,000 a month? Makes no sense. I know one guy now. I paid $6,000 for Eamon to jump on 3 phone calls with one guy. It changed our entire business. One guy now, Devin Jotho. Go look him up.
Wow.
You want to learn social media marketing from me or someone like Devin, Alex and Mosey, you name it. You can pay these people. I've just launched a coaching offer. You can pay people and they will give you a blueprint that has worked for them and countless other people. And if you don't have the money to do that, take their info products, take it all, consume the knowledge, read, do the learning. A lot of it's for free. A lot of the low ticket products out there, you can piece them together and get the knowledge needed to actually have a go at it.
So do you think a lot of people that haven't hit that yet, do you think they're just not trying hard enough?
No, I don't think it. I think, to be honest, if you asked me the question when I was 16, if I had the choice to put on a balaclava or a suit, which one would I have chosen? I'd have chosen a suit. I don't think it's down to the choice. I think it's down to lack of knowledge, lack of education. I don't believe that there's ignorant people in this world, really. I think we have uneducated people.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Like, even when I left uni, bro, like I studied psychology. I just found it somewhat interesting. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it afterwards. And then I fell into sales right afterwards. And then I fell into coding. Do you know what I mean? There was nobody that really kind of educated you on what the different possibilities in life are. I think there's something wrong with the schooling system.
Sorry, that's the fourth leverage code.
Yeah.
It's just come to me. All
right, Carl, drop the knowledge on that, bro.
Yeah, code. No, that's the fourth leverage code. Code, yeah. Code, software.
Oh, it's code.
Yeah, that's the fourth leverage.
Yeah. Because you can, what does that mean? Can you expand on that?
So you can leverage software, can't you, to fulfill for the masses. So let's say you have a fulfillment issue in your business, you can automate that through software and code.
Yes.
So what we sell to businesses, really, well, what Mina Creative sells is acceleration, taking you from where you are now to where you need to be quicker through fulfilling kind of a pain or a goal. We take that kind of system or that burden off your shoulders and we systemize it. What a lot of these guys, for example, let's say Hustlers University, they don't sell acceleration, they sell transformation, taking you from where you are now to where you need to be through making you become the person that you need to be. If you can use software to sell me acceleration in the sense that if I give you my money, it's either going to make me more money or automate something in my business, as in save me time. If I can leverage that through your software, that's a leverage.
Yeah, actually, interestingly enough.
CRM systems, pipelines, you know.
Funny you should say that, bro. Actually, there's a lot in the tech industry right now, and a lot of people who don't necessarily know much about tech, they want to get into tech and create the next Uber, okay? They want to create the next Facebook. Little do they know about only 0.001% of those tech businesses actually succeed. But actually, there's many businesses who have just focused on, I know business, can't remember the name now, but they added like a CRM system for people who are receptionists at medical centers. A software you'll never hear the name of, but they just automated a process that people were struggling with. And that business, they didn't even need external investment.
There you go.
Completely bootstrapped.
So you've just hit the nail on the head. So my friend, Abdullah Al-Hashimi, he's what's the fund called now? Anyway, he's from the family office that his uncle founded Fab Bank. Yeah, they've got big dough, playing with big numbers. Him and those people, they're actually heading the entire AI and kind of tech initiative of the UAE, right? And one thing that he told me was move towards SaaS because you can exit. The agencies, coaching models, anything to do with kind of social media, I can't exit it. My face is tied to it, right? What you notice that a lot of these large creators are doing is they'll have a service or a community or a coaching offer and they'll give away a lot of the knowledge for free or sell it. But what they're really selling is the implementation, how to take this knowledge and act upon it with this product. This product's going to help you. This SaaS, this CRM system, this automation tool is what you need to reach your goals. Now, if I charge you $99 a month to be on the platform and I onboard 1,000 people, it's a pretty penny, right? It's a pretty penny. What's that, 100 grand? 100 grand, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So call it 100 grand a month, 1.2 million a year. Automated, no moving parts, no real staff members needed. You can exit that at a very large multiple without your face being tied to it.
Yeah, tech is 10x.
To get 1,000 or 10,000 people onto a SaaS tool or a platform like that is just as easy as getting 1,000 to 10,000 followers. Why? Because you're solving a pain and it's very low ticket.
Absolutely.
That's why
Absolutely.
ManyChat's worth billions. Billions. I think it got acquired by Instagram.
Yeah, tech when you want to sell it as well, I think it sells 10x.
10x, 10, 12x. Yeah.
Other non-tech businesses, they don't sell for that like
so work it out. You've got a company now, 100 grand a month now, but you've got a company now that's doing 1.2 million a year, and you can exit that at what, 12 mil. And it will take you 6 months to build that, to literally like roll that out and start and get 1,000 people on the platform if you know what you're doing. If you've got decent traffic and you are touching on a pain, right? Like for example, if you create a CRM system now that's going to help real estate agents to create content and convert that traffic into dollars, as in automate the DMs, through lead magnets, enter the form fields, forms, funnels, enter it into a kind of a contact list that they can send emails and WhatsApps to, and push them along buyer journeys to booking an appointment. Kind of the entire kind of buyer journey. Automate that entire system. If you create a system like that and you charge $99 a seat, one agency's got 100 agents. Do you know what I mean? And that's just me off the top of my head. Yeah, but yeah, SaaS definitely. You're the man in this room. It's not me.
Yeah, I was starting to think to myself, what I need
you're the guy, bro. I'm
I need to switch. And this is inspiring me, bro.
I said this. Remember that I said this.
Yeah, 6 months from now, after this podcast.
Remember that I said this. It's something that it's one of the things that I understand the kind of industry and understand how to make money from it, but coding, software is not my strong point. But I understand that it's definitely the right direction that we need to be going in.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Great
And
industry.
AI.
Yeah, what someone like yourself could actually provide to someone with the tech knowledge is what's the problem that needs to be solved, finding the problem that needs to be solved and helping to come up with a solution for it. The tech guy can create it, but a lot of tech guys, they lack the marketing and the innovative thinking of what the vision.
Yeah.
Exactly. The vision. That's what a lot of tech guys are missing.
And when you get tech guys that are visionaries, they become the richest men on the planet.
Look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a top.
Zuckerberg, look at Elon, look at them all. You get a tech guy that's also a visionary, because usually in business you've got three characters at play. You've got the creative. He's the guy that understands marketing, branding, understands how to wrap it up with a great deal, present it to the world. Yeah. Then you've got the ops guy. He's the guy that can handle fulfillment, keep the entire ship afloat, and he's there to mop up and have plan B ready at all times. Then you've got the visionary, the one that kind of paves the way for people to follow. When you've got those three characters, and if you can combine those three skills into one man, it's game over. Those are the people that create unicorns.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you're not one of those people, if you're missing one of those skills, go get a team.
Go get a team, delegate. You don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. If I want to create a product now, do you think I'm going to try and code it? Or do you think I'm just going to
get someone to
motivate a bunch of coders to get behind me, that we're going to create this project and we're going to exit at 100 mil? What do you think is going to happen? Do you understand? Just be the visionary, be the leader, be the guy for people to follow, and actually execute on what you say you're going to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Boom.
But I got one more question that I have to ask, yeah? And it's because, like, we live in the social media age, all right? Me and you were both 31. Okay, we come from a different era, all right? Slightly different era. We saw the introduction of Facebooks and the introduction of the social media age and MSN and all these things. I've talked about this with a couple of people, but it's like when you would talk online at that era, right? There were consequences for what's coming next. Do you know what I mean? If you want to talk tough, it's going to get, something bad is going to happen. We have now entered a social media age where people are turning on a camera and talking madness. You even see social media influencers now talking like they're violent guys. Boxing match this, boxing match that. You don't want to see me here. And we got a certified guy who's got all the certifications of a bad man, right? Yeah, he's got all the certifications. He's walked the whole walk, you know what I mean? What is your opinion on this social media age of talking about violence, boxing? What's your opinion on violence? Bruv, when I see you, me and my crew is going to you.
So I've done more hits and more cash machines than half of these guys have had at dinners. That's a fact. As anybody that knows me knows that is a fact. Will you ever, and I promise you I'll never mention it again, I'm only stating this for the sake of the podcast. You will never ever hear me speak about it in my content, because who the fuck does it benefit? Who does it benefit? It's clickbait. Like, why? Why do you feel the need to move away from kind of social media to then become, you now want to become a media personality, you now want to become a boxer, You know, do you understand? If it's your true passion and because we're all multifaceted, yeah? I've got 60 different sides to me. Yes, I'm a Muslim. Yes, I also used to be a crook, but yes, I'm also a family man. Yes, I wouldn't ever hurt the vulnerable. I used to be a violent person. I never hurt the vulnerable. Yeah? Yes, I'm also an entrepreneur. I also like boxing. I also like Coronation Street.
Yeah, banging.
Right?
Cup of tea and a
Multifaceted.
curry.
So for the likes of like Jake Paul, if his passion truly was boxing, but he never had someone to stick him in a gritty gym when he was younger, and he never got pushed down that route, he's always wanted to be it. Fair dues, fair play to him. But these guys that are jumping on kind of misfits boxing now, they've already got an audience. They're just doing it for clout, getting a paycheck, and they're acting hard with it. And when they get in the ring, they can't even. It's handbags at dawn. What's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because the handbags are done.
What's the point? It's like the same, you know, you hit the nail on the head because it does my head in. Like, you hear some of these, like, some of them, not all of them, but some of these guys, and I'm thinking, bro, like, shut the like, you're not that guy, shut up, stop it. Because everyone's a gangster till a gangster walks in the room.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? I know people that would walk in this room now. Oh my God. And they'd have everybody in Dubai shook.
Absolutely.
But they're the most humble and quiet and kindest people. But you can see it behind their eyes. You can see it when they're sat with you. Like, the monsters come in all shapes and sizes, and it's not people on misfits boxing, put it that way.
It's the smallest dog that does the most barking.
Yeah,
The smallest dog. And the thing is, like,
You're right there.
like a lot, like, again, when I was growing up, it was the era of like avoiding violence. People telling you that violence is bad, like violence is fast and quick and you don't see it coming, and when it's over there's a big impact and you don't know what's what. The way that these people, these young guys are talking, it's crazy to me. The way that they're sending for each other and the way that they're talking.
Pointless.
It takes, and I want you to speak to this, it takes you to say the wrong thing to the wrong person one time. None of these social media guys that are encouraging you to try and propose that you're a bad man are going to be there at your hospital, bruv.
Of course not.
And you're not going to hear, no one's going to hear, you haven't heard of all the people who have decided to go and walk out the street, say the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time, and they're in hospital now. You've only seen the people hiding behind the camera. Can you talk?
And also the people that make the wrong decision at the wrong time. So I can tell you from first-hand experience, it only takes one shot and your life can change. Like your whole life can change. I truly believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved me. I'm the one that got away. Yeah. So for me, and that's I'll be honest with you guys, that's one of the reasons why I avoid conflict. There's certain times when I'm in certain rooms with certain people and I'm looking, I have to remember that I'm in Dubai. Because I know that I've been gifted and I've been highly, highly favored and blessed. And a lot of these guys on road, they're blessed. Like, they're blessed with knowledge and skill sets and they're good at some shit, but they're not applying it right. And all they care about are people that aren't going to be there for them. I can tell you now, like, when people get life, they're buried alive after 5 years. Everyone's forgot about them. Not many people are still writing letters. I'm going to say it right now. If you're someone who's on road right now as a young man in the UK and you have a good mum at home, and whether you're Muslim or not, but you have a good mum at home, respect your parents. If you're someone that has some sort of value to provide to the world, get out of the area that you're in and rebuild. Because you take one step closer to Allah, He's going to take 10 steps closer to you. And I'll tell you this now. The enemy, Iblis, he stated that he's going to attack us from the front, the back, the left, the right. It's going to come from anywhere at any given time. He's going to come from every single angle. And it can come in the form of a friend whispering in your ear, telling you that you're a if you don't go and blow that kid's head off. So don't do it. It doesn't matter whether you're in Dubai or the UK. When people say Dubai, is it good for Muslims? It's full of fitna. Again, he's going to attack from the front, back, left, right. It doesn't matter where you are in this world. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
This being said, what
Look what happened to you, in Mecca. Someone stole your hard drive. That was in one of the holiest places in the world and someone was still whispered to. Do you understand? It doesn't matter where you are in the world. But just understand that there's a clear enemy and he's trying to take as many of us as possible. He's doing a good job. And if I was you, I'd listen to your parents.
Inshallah, I always tell people this, that, Muslims are human before they're Muslim. They're no different. We should be. We have a standard and we should follow it, and many of us do. But you can't just give unwavering trust to anybody now. But this being said, what top advice would you have for sales?
For sales? Okay. Nobody wants to buy when they know you want to sell. That's the best piece of advice. Indifference is key. So if you look at, Aimer's going to keep for this. If you look at our funnel, the way that we attract leads is through lead magnets. We'll use social media, organic or ads content to attract people into the DMs through offering something in return, i.e. we'll capture interest with reels. Again, this is going into marketing, but I'm gonna touch on sales, don't worry. And at which point we'll say, for example, let's say we have an ad where I'll say, and blah, 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 I'll drop some value and I'll say something like, and I've just created a video which shows how I've made our clients millions in Dubai. Comment the word video and I'm going to send it to you. When you comment the word video, automatically on the back end, we'll send you an automated DM pushing you to the next stage of the buyer journey, the funnel. And it'll be something like this. Hey, you're looking for the free masterclass. You click yes, we send you a link. To unlock the masterclass, you have to give us your email, which is why it's called the lead magnet. Now we've captured your email and your phone number. You watch that lead magnet, and in that lead magnet, this is a great sales trick. We'll solve the problem that you're looking to solve through our content, through the knowledge that we're providing. We'll give you the game whilst revealing another problem that you can only solve by booking a call. So we'll hook people in.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you feel like you want to take the action, we're not selling it to you. If you don't take that action, our automations will send you the most amazing value that you've ever received for a period of 12 weeks until you take that action. And if not, our appointment setters will give you a call and book you in. At which point you'll be told on a discovery call, which isn't a sales call, again, because we don't want to be salesy.
Yeah.
On the discovery call, you'll be told in the first 5 minutes, this is a discovery call to understand you as an individual, your needs, and your company. At that point, we're not going to try and sell you anything. We need to understand you, your struggles, your pains, your goals. And if we feel that you're a fit for our agency, we will then present you with an offer. The reason for that is because I won't allow our team to work with anyone unless I know that we can 100% get you across the line. Because we have great testimonials and I don't want to stop that. So we're not here to sell you anything. We're here to solve your problems. Tell me a bit about you. Where do you come from? Meaningful conversations, right? You get it? Now, at that point, you need to provide enough value to kind of and cast out all doubt in their mind that you're not the right people to go with. You do that, you're closing them. And at the end of the conversation, I just say something like this. If I'm ever on like a sales call, I'll say something like, after I know I've got you. At that point, I'll say, now can you just tell me one thing that you liked about what I've said today? What does that do? That highlights something positive in your mind. You've not got the choice to highlight something negative. If I say to you, what do you think? It's an open question. If I say to you, can you just tell me one thing that you liked about what I've said? It makes you highlight something positive. It's called the alternative close. You close yourself. And when you tell me all the amazing things that you like, I'll then say, great, we're getting started. Done. So the trick is to not come across as salesy and to make them feel like they're taking all the action and you're just there to solve their problems. And then as soon as you close, make sure you fulfill on that promise. That's it. You've got
That's the key there. It's like you're giving away your sales game, but then at the same time, it's like, I can tell you're doing that because you know you can actually provide value. You can actually, you're doing the sales not just to grab their money and run off, but to actually help improve their business. And that's what a lot of this discovery is as well, right? Yeah.
Understanding the buyer journey. Once you kind of get that, once you understand why people buy, once you understand why people share content, so the psychology behind what's shareable, because when people share content, that is virality, the rate of how many people share your. Once you understand why people share content, you'll reach virality. Once you understand why people will take action, you'll build a pipeline. Once you understand why people will buy, and 80% of the time it's to solve a pain rather than to achieve a goal. If your goal today is to have the perfect day, to pray all your prayers, to hit the gym at the right time, to complete your get done list, right? And like hand off, what are you doing? You're stopping all the goals and you're wanting to resolve the pain, you go straight to hospital. We'll take action to solve a pain a lot quicker than to achieve a goal. So touch on the pain points.
So speaking about praying, going to the gym, getting your stuff done every day with productivity, what are your thoughts on daily routines, morning routines, nightly routines?
When I'm in flow state, as in I've not got no, so when I'm in flow state, like anything's possible. I truly believe that anything is possible. The that we've done in 18 months has been mad. Even in the last like 2.5 years, it's been crazy. But there's been dips. And those dips have been in times when I've not been on it. Yeah? You can't make a promise. You can't make a promise to the creator that you're going to be a better person and promise that you're going to do everything that you say you're going to do because they're blessing you. And then when you stop or you're not fulfilling that promise in its entirety, you can't expect for all those blessings to stay around. You get it? So for me, and I've said this before, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't care about the wealth that you achieve in this world. He doesn't care if you have abs. He doesn't care if you're a guy. He doesn't give. Yeah? What he cares about is The final destination he actually wants you to reach, other than paradise, is becoming the person that it takes to deserve it. Once you become that person, it's given to you. It's done. You can't have the perfect week without the perfect day. You can't have the perfect day without the perfect morning or the perfect hour. And I sometimes don't even have the perfect week. None of us are perfect. Anybody that preaches that they are lying. They're not telling you about the dips. Everyone's iman goes like this. Everyone goes, but it's about identifying and understanding what. Once you put on the magic glasses, you can never take them off. Once you can see the clear blessings and the clear pitfalls in life and understand how to avoid them and how to be grateful for them, yeah, you're on the right path. If you can't see it and you're just walking through this world blindly, you're going to constantly have problems.
So I started coaching Muslim men 3 years ago, and one of the biggest things that I noticed that they struggle with is nofap, haram watching addiction.
Okay.
Everyone's watching haram videos and they don't know how to stop. What's your advice for that?
Again, he's going to attack from the left, right, front, back. Right? There's no escaping the whisper. There's no escaping it. Right? There's no way. You just need to understand that if something's, for example, I'll go out with my friends. Bearing in mind, my friends, a lot of them are white Catholics. When they want to go out, they want to be entertained in Dubai, I'll take them to places that I wouldn't necessarily normally go. When I'm in there, do I drink water? Yes. Am I approachable? No. It doesn't matter where you are in this. The entire dunya is a test. When you look at your phone, it's a test. When you're in a meeting, it's a test. When women walk past you in the mall, it's a test. It's down to you to lower your gaze. Do you understand? It's placed there for a reason. Everything. So it's like, for me, again, understanding and identifying the pitfalls. If you know that content, are you talking about? Right. If you know that technology can be used in one of two ways. You can either bang it out every morning or you can use it to learn something, right? Which do you think is going to benefit you? Which do you think is going to kind of suck your soul? Which do you think is going to drain your energy? Do you understand? If you get a dopamine hit from that, any life coach or any coach online is going to tell you it's about stacking things. It's about doing better, doing more.
Yes.
It's not. It's about removing. It's a process of removal first. Removing all of the bad habits first and stripping down to baseline. And once you're at baseline and you have Allah, then build on. Then build on your character. But just strip back on your diet, strip back on watching, strip back on the friends that are around you that are telling you to do dumb. If you're in a bad relationship, if you're in a haram relationship, all these things, just strip back. Once you're at baseline, you're ready to be built on, just put it in God's hands.
Can you zoom into the point where you said you went from just converting to Islam to embracing Islam? And is that a process that's an active life?
100%, never stops. So like, yeah, there's a big difference between reverting to Islam and embracing Islam. Again, bearing in mind, when I reverted to Islam in prison, it wasn't like a lot of the other prisoners in the UK. I actually did the learning. I was locked away in a cell within a prison. Yeah. So for me, it was a choice, and it was a very, very, very important choice that I made. But at the time, I wasn't educated enough to see, or I wasn't experienced enough, should I say, to see the blessings and the pitfalls. When I got out, they hit me. I was on the ropes. Every day, there'd be something, and I'd fall for it. Now I can see it blatantly. I can see when people come into your life, and I was going to touch on jinn then, weren't we? But remember before.
Yeah.
But this is similar, but just off topic a little bit. When people, I know when people come into my life and whether they're there for a reason or not. I know whether they're to be a blessing, whether they're for me to help them in any way, or whether they've been put there as a very specific test. I can see that now. Before I could never see it because I was inexperienced. Now I can see it. So when I embraced Islam, my entire life changed. You can revert, you can accept, you can take the shahada, but what's the difference between you and a Christian if you're not submitting your will to Allah? What's the difference?
Wow.
There isn't one. There isn't one. Is there really? What differentiates us from the kafar? What is it?
Belief and action.
Belief and action.
Salah.
Salah. Yeah. And that's why I'm telling you, if you're not on it, and sometimes, like I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I fell off, but I quickly get back on. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that when you're off, you're off, and it starts like this. It starts like this. Oh, do you really want to do this? No, I'm not just talking about Islam. Oh, this isn't going to work. Oh, you just should try something else. Yeah, you should stop doing that altogether. That's how it starts. It's the whisper. It's doubt. The biggest weapon that Iblis has is to cast doubt. to cast doubt in your mind, doubt in your relationship, doubt in your marriage, doubt in Allah, doubt in yourself. It's understanding that when you hear those doubts, that it's not you, bro, because you can do anything through Allah. Trust me, I'm a living example of it, bro. I should not be here. I should be lifed off. Yeah.
Proper,
Sorry for my rant.
Proper zero to proper
Sorry
zero.
for my rant.
Yeah, no.
Shut up.
Starting from nothing. Story.
I never do these
Proper
podcasts.
story.
Like,
Yeah.
how long has it took you guys to get me? I never do these podcasts. I don't do them. Like, it's rare. Like, I think I've done 2. Do you know what I mean? So, if I'm gonna come, I'm gonna speak as much as I possibly can if it's gonna benefit the people.
Absolutely, bro. Like, you know, we were talking about what's the theme of this podcast. I think one thing I've realized about me and Fayad is that the main actually theme of our podcast is that we actually want to add benefit to people. We actually want to address topics that are a struggle for people. And I can't lie, your story and coming from the character that you are, you have the right to talk about a lot of things, whether it's violence, whether it's about being on the streets, being an entrepreneur, being a Muslim, starting from nothing and getting to somewhere. So it's been a pleasure having you.
We're all still on the journey, though. I'd just like to kind of, if I'm going to conclude, I'd like to leave you with this. It's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going. And for me, everyone's journey is different. Don't ever compare yourself to other people. Some people are further along the journey than you. Some people might get it before you, but that's what's written for them. It's not written for you. And you've not become the person that it takes to deserve it yet. And the final thing that I like to say is little knowledge is worse than no knowledge at all. If I've said anything that's incorrect on this podcast, don't hold me accountable for it. Yeah? Because one thing that I don't want to do is lead people away from Islam by saying the wrong thing, which is why I always state I'm not a scholar. And I'm only relaying kind of how I apply Islam and my life experiences and the fact that I'm not perfect. None of us are. Nobody.
Bro, absolutely. And like I was having this conversation with Fayad yesterday. It's like a lot of people give advice from a place where they don't have knowledge. Yeah. And I always say, if you give that advice, but if you preface it with your background and who you are and where this advice is coming from, that's fine. Because you've made it, you clearly at the very beginning said, I'm not an Islamic scholar. These are my experiences and I can give you these advice on these experiences. And I think you've added a lot of value for anyone watching today, any young man, any young person looking to guide their way of life. Don't do crime. You know what I mean?
Crime. Don't get jealous of other people. Think you can take this. Don't go out to harm people. There's no need for it.
Absolutely. It doesn't make you tough.
There's no need. Once you leave that area, all those opinions that you have, the people that have got opinions on you now, that you feel that their opinion matters. If you knew how quickly we were forgotten after, you wouldn't live your life to impress others, for one. Secondly, once you remove yourself from that area where you come from, like, you won't care. Do you think I get phone calls when I land back in the UK, this guy's done this guy's done that, can you help us with this? We need to sort this out. And I just ignore them. I don't care. Because once you remove yourself from that location, you've created a whole new environment for yourself and a new life. If you feel that you need to get out of where you come from, just get out of where you come from. The world's big enough. Do you know what I mean? It's bigger than your block, bro. Yeah.
Absolutely. Bro, thank you very much for coming on, man.
Absolutely, bro. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Okay, bro.
Inshallah, we'll see you soon, bro. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.